ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रो ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे வேதாந்ததெரியும் ஈரொன்று தோப்பும் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு பாரேர போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
The considered special opinion of Sri Vedanta Desika is that though it is not said by many books and many authors, so we have to remember the meaning of the mantras, go on thinking about the meaning of the mantras, and also more and more, I think, can you show me the 53 last line? Yeah. Mantrartha Chintanam, and then it should be done individually. You cannot transfer the responsibility to someone, and we also said yesterday that you cannot share the recitation with someone else. No, that means we are only doing half the work. And then, because this is a practice, as we discussed in the last session, that in the temple there are two groups in which only half the recitation is done. So here, so we evam sanchintya mantrartham tatastam purusham. Now, while we think of the meaning of the spells, the powerful words of the scriptures, especially used in the Tiruvaradhanam in the temple by the Pancaratra tradition. So, evam, in this way, sanchintya, thinking well, going deep into the mantrartham, the meaning of the quintessence of the, or essence and quintessence of the scriptures, mantra, and then tataha, then tam purusham param. We must also not forget, though it is a part of the mantra, we must remember the Lord who is the highest. So we must always treat him as the highest one. We should not doubt that. We should not have any apprehension to recognize him as the highest Lord. So Param Purusham. So you have a notes number 1 there. Can we see that if it is elaborate? So it is called Tat Purusham Paramiti Padam. Kosheshu Nasti says. It is not available in the books. Though it is not available in the books, Vedanta Deshika stresses the point that who is that the Lord? Do you name him as Sriman Narayana or some other by some other name? Whatever name you add to the Lord, he is Param Purusha. He is the highest Lord. So there is nobody other, higher than him. So we have more words in the scriptures. Na tasya adhikaha, na tat samaha asti. There is no one equal to him. There is no one above him. There is no one more than him. That is more popular, more efficient, more knowledgeable, and so on. And again, in all aspects, comprehensively. Another word is there. Another sentence in scriptures: "Na bhuto, na bhavishyati," meaning. Though it refers particularly to Lakshmi Narasimha incarnation, we say that nobody is equal and nobody is above the law. You cannot imagine, even by imagination, you cannot understand that there is someone who is higher than you. So that is why the problem comes in what we call multi-deity worship in the Sanatana Dharma religion. The Sanatana Dharma religion, it is not Hindu religion. It is Sanatana Dharma religion gives rise to the worship of a pantheon of gods, a host of gods. Why? There is a choice according to the taste of a person, according to the Puranas, namely lores, Lores, that we have. We have Sattvika Puranas, which highlight the importance of Sriman Narayana, whereas we have Tamasika Puranas and Rajasika Puranas. All the Puranas have been written by Vyasa himself, and Parashara is only one who has written Vishnu Purana, Parashara Maharishi, the father of Vyasa and so on. So you have Bhagavatam is a Purana. Bhagavatam is a Purana. Krishna's story in the 10th chapter. So it includes all incarnations, about 22, 50, unlimited, infinity, and so on. So you have another Purana, there we have got some Puranas called Upa Puranas. They are also there. And so even after reading all the Puranas, we must come to a conclusion that only Lord Hari, let us take the word, simple word, two-lettered word, two-syllable word, Hari, as the highest God. Now, why again go to Smriti, 28 Smriti books, go to Itihasas, Mahabharatam and Ramayana, and please do not think that we are all brainwashed. Please remember this. So every Purana, for your information, whether it is Tamasic or Rajasic, will always highlight the importance and the greatness of that particular deity. And therefore, that will confuse us. So Vinayaka Purana is there, then Shiva Purana is there, Markandeya Purana is there, and whenever, Darshanam, in Darshanam also, Shat Darshana, we have got Shankara Darshanam is also there. Again, what we call Kartikeya Darshanam is there. And therefore, so supposing we start thinking that other minor gods are the highest gods, then we are confused. And therefore, so we should always remember, read only Sattvika Puranas, dismiss the other Puranas as what we call the allusions, which at the end support the concept of the greatness of the only Lord. So Ityadina, so Purvaihi Uttam, said by the earlier preceptors, Acharyas, Dhyanam Sankshipya. So we must concentrate throw our mind. Samshipya meaning throwing well. So throw our mind into meditation. That means we must indulge into meditation. We must immerse our mind into in meditation. We must drown our heart into the meditation. We should not come out of it. So tat anuktam padadi keshanta dhyanam prapancha. Now, how do you think of Parampurusha? How do you think of, how do you meditate on the Lord? So you take the what we call kapapi worship, head to foot or foot to head. Either way, you can go from the head to the foot or from the foot to the head. So Shankaracharya wrote two books, Vishnu Padadi Keshanta Stotram, then Vishnu Keshadi Padanta Stotram. He wrote both. Amalanadi Piran of Tirupanalvar is what you call doing at random the worship of the limbs of the Lord. He has not regularly chronological in the limbs as we see our own human body. Whereas Vedanta Deshika made it into order, in what you call the ascending order from the divine feet to the head. Bhagavad Dhyana Sopanam was the transcreation in Sanskrit from Tamil Amalanadipiran. So you find what do you do? Padadi Keshanta Dhyana. So meditate on the divine feet up to the hair on the head. So Pada Adi, Pada foot, Adi from the being from, Kesha the hair, the locks of hair, Dhyanam meditation. Now because we are all Sri Vaishnavates, concentrating upon only the Kalyana gunas, auspicious attributes of the Lord, and not on what we call the formless God. We are not Advaitins, though we are called Vishishta Advaitins. We have some similarity between the individual soul and the Supreme Soul, whereas we don't say that the individual soul becomes one with the Supreme Soul. Never we accept that. Sayujyam is never accepted. And we all have only 9 types of relationships between the individual soul, Jivatma, and the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul. So, because we are not able to, not only that, our mind is limited, the capacity of our heart is limited, and also that we have to enjoy the auspicious qualities of the Lord. We always see the beauty of the limbs. So, Pada Adi Kesha Antadhyana. So, Prapancha. Let us spread our mind in these limbs from the bottom to top. So, here, so Shodasha Upachara Krame. So, again, as we know earlier, so Manasika Aradhanam must be done fully before we start really and practically the Thiruvaradhanam. And therefore, all the asanams must have been submitted earlier. So, starting with, for example, Mantrasanam, Punarmantrasanam, Snanasanam, Dhupasanam, Deepasanam, Alankarasanam, Bhojyasanam, Paryankasanam, I mean Karpura Harati and Paryankasana. So these must be done mentally, and then we start in the right earnest the practical application, starting with again mantras. Now what you call Patra Kalpanam and so on. Starting with so Shodasha Upachara Kramena, because it is a temple, it is different from home. Therefore, 16 types of honoring the Lord. So, Upacharaha meaning honoring the Lord, giving respect to the Lord. So, you have different objects to be used there. For example, a fan, a mirror, and so on. So, you have Shodaja Upachara. So, Samaradhanam, the meaning good worship. Cha Vihitam. Vihitam is prescribed. It is for our benefit. It is for our benefit. Visheshena hitam, vishishtam hitam, vihitam. It has been prescribed for our sake. So upachara antaranam api. So suppose the book does not give more than the 16 types of honor, then sarvesham ete shodasha pradhanatava. So all can be comprehensively included under the 16. Today, if you want to say about Panchayuda, for example, the 5 weapons in the hands of the Lord, Vedanta Deshika extends to 16 weapons. So those 16 weapons will also be contained in these 5 weapons. So 16 becomes 5. The calculation is very curious. So 16 is reduced to 5. So now we have some books saying more than 16 honors. So Upacharantaram, it's called Upacharantaram. Suppose according to whims and fancies of the priest or as per the prescription of the books, the imagination runs RI, AWRY, or runs riot, RIOT, because of your love toward the divine figure of the Lord in the temple. So you can think, you can imagine that the 16 will be what you call very important, and all other upacharas, honors, can be thought of as inclusive of these 16. So tadanubandhena eva anyat sarvam anushthiyate. So based upon this, tadu anubandhena, as an addendum, as a corollary, as an accessory, anyat, anything, sarvam, anything else, all other things, anushthiyate, are followed. Everything else is followed by treating that if at all there are books which tell us more than 16 honors, then they can be included, contained in the within the 16 limit. Then desha kala avastha adi anusarena sankshepa vistara swikarascha shastra shastriya. So it is also accepted as right shastriya. Shastra means science, science means scriptures, scriptures means mantras, mantras means that we have dhyana. So mantras are used there. So Shastriya, it means according to the science, according to the perfect spiritual science, namely scriptures, we say we can have a brief or elaborate. Sankshepa, brief, vistara, elaborate, swikaraha cha, acceptance. So acceptance of this process of worship, namely Tiruvaradhanam, can be either brief or elaborate. So that is why in the temple, the devotees expect the priest to be elaborate, whereas at home, we can have what we call Laghu Tiruvaradhanam, as published by some books. So Desha, because of the Desha, Kala, Avastha, Adi, Anusaren. So according to the place, according to the time, according to the status, condition, or something else also, etc., Anusarena following. As we understand, Badrinath. Badrinath is covered by snow for 6 months. So only for 6 months in a year, the devotees throng into the temple, and we worship Badrinath, Nara Narayana Ashrama. So we go and worship even Arjuna there, and go to Vyasa Guha and so on. So we have what we call the China border nearby. And then, so why I say this, only 6 months. What about the other 6 months? There is Kala, time restriction. We are not able to go there. So again, Desha, the place, it's also in a hilly place, cold place, and so on. So if you take some hills, a small hill near what we call Karur, nearby in Tamil Nadu, we have a small hill called Talai Malai. Talai Malai. So it's a titular deity for some families, which I know. And therefore, so when they pray for some particular wishes, they go there, and the priest goes there in the morning and comes soon before evening, before it gets dark, and it is very difficult to be there in darkness. So Desha, the place also is not accessible to the human beings very easily, and the worship is done as according to the convenience. Then avastha, condition. Supposing any what you call natural calamity occurs, or even a natural benefit occurs, in the sense rains, floods, something like that. Natural. Now we don't call it disaster. Um, so the Kedarnath was washed away in the storm. Then it has been reconstructed, and therefore unseasonal weather also. The weather is very hot or cool, so we are not able to. So avastha, condition. Even the priest say falls ill. So no substitute is available. Today it happens to a village in which Bharadwaj Swami knows, like Tuar, a village called Tuar, 70 kilometers from Srirangam. The priest is not available. In that say avastha. The avastha is Tamil avasthai. Tamil avasthai means suffering. Sanskrit avastha means condition, any condition,
Condition.
good or bad. Desha kala avastha. When Lord has no desha kala, limitation of time, place, and condition, the worship is based on time, place, and condition. So you have, so we accept that. It is not possible. Assam, take Assam we say Assam state. Achara in south cannot be followed there. And therefore, a sweater, a very heavy jacket, plus the shoes on, you cannot throw away the chappals. Heavy shoes, heavy boots must be there in order to worship Lord Krishna in Assam. So it is very difficult, so because of the weather conditions. So ataha, so achara can also be not followed of some other place. So ataha, therefore, purvaika kantyam. So what has been already vociferously said by the throat of the previous preceptors. That is what we call purvaika kantyam. Because most of the preceptors are having only one voice. Kantyam, kantha is neck, throat, voice. So aika kantyam is oneness in opinion, oneness in saying the instruction. So purvaika kantyam, iha api anusandhe. Iha here, api tu, too, iha api anusandheyam should be followed. Anusandhanam itself means what we call regular practice and repeated practice with dhyana, meditation on mind. Ataha eva, therefore only, he indeed, surely, tat ubhaya anusaribihi. So you have two types of definition of Bhagavata, we saw that. Of course, almost similar. Now we are talking about Todasha Upachara plus something else. So, Tatu Ubhaya Anusaribihi. So, whether Jayakya Samhita or some other Samhita, Pancaratra or Vaikhanasa, you can say Pancaratra and Vaikhanasa, major the category. So, Tatu Ubhaya Anusaribihi, by those who follow the both traditions, Narayana Munibihi, a sage by name Narayana, has prescribed Panchakala Kalpanaya by the prescription through 5 timings. Tattat Kalanushtheyani Yathakramam Prapanchita. So we have already, according to the 5 timings, tatkala anushteyani, whatever is to be done during those 5 timings, yathakramam, according to the order, prapanchitani have been explained. Tatahi, for example. Bhagavat Charanam Bhoja Paricharya Vidhikraman Ekantibihi Anushteyam Nityam Sam Abhidadmahe. Now we are going to tell you Abhidadmahe. Abhidadmahe means we are going to tell you. So Nityam, what is permanent or what is to be permanently followed? Anushteyam to be followed. By whom? Ekantibihi. Keshavdas Swami will come to the help here. Who is Ekanti? Ekanti is a certain type of sages or sannyasins who follow a particular fashion of the puja. So Bhagavat Charana Amboja Paricharya Vidhi Krama. So they have a special process. So Kramam, the order, the process, Vidhi Kramam, the ruling order in the sense ruled order with restrictions. Then Paricharya, worship. Paricharya is service. And then Amboja, the lotus. Ekanti is someone who only worships on form of God, is Ishtadevata, one form of God. Right. Paramekantin we say in Sri Vaishnavism, meaning concentrating only on one God. Right. We are exclusively, a man is exclusively for only one God. So Amboja is lotus, Ambaha is water, Amboja is lotus. Charana is foot, the lotus feet. Bhagavat Charana, the Lord's divine lotus feet. So a particular process is being followed by Ekantins in the worship of, in the service of the divine lotus feet of the Lord. That we are going to tell you. Don't ask now, that's me. Abhidadmahe. So it should be followed forever. So Nityam. Nityam also can mean daily. Whenever it is convenient, we will take up these two meanings. Ever and daily. So Brahme Muhurte, again the same process. So get up, Sattastha. So when we get up, or when we are, even when we are sleeping, since in the sleep also we enjoy the Lord's presence, we enjoy His qualities, not by dreams, but because of the good sleep, sound sleep, deep sleep. So we enjoy Him, enjoy His presence as Antaryami, and we, with that thought we get up. So Brahme Muhurte by the 3:30 to 4:30. So Brahme, why Brahme Muhurte? Muhurta is auspicious time, 1.5 hours or 45 minutes. 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. And then Brahme refers to Brahma. Brahma meaning Lord, Almighty. So Almighty is time. So Sattastha. So we are all filled up with only good quality. We are not Rajasic and Tamasic at the Brahma Muhurta. So what do you do? What do you say? Harihi, iti bruvan. So it is given here as 2 times. Generally 7 times are advised. Sri Hari, I had to say Sri Harihi. Don't say Harihi. When you say Harihi, you must always add Visarga as the letter R, Repa, to the next Ha. So Harir. So you have to say 7 times. So I would say Sri Harihi. Therefore you say Sri Harihi separately. Bruvan saying Uttaya, get up. After getting up, Tatra there, Shayane in the bed, Samasinaha. See, this is also very scientific in the modern times today. So we are not supposed to get up in a shock. Suddenly we should not get up, jump from the bed out. So we have to be very careful. So people say that we place our right palm, especially right palm, on our chest, so that there is no shock to the Lord when we get up hurriedly. Don't get up hurriedly, slow, but don't be dead slow from 3:30 to 6:30. So slow, get up, giving a few minutes of intervening time, rather rest, you can say. Our heart means our mental strength should be gained. Samasina, you sit down for some time. Not, of course, much time. Samasina, 2 minutes. Then get up. The problem is, suppose the room is dark where you sleep, so you may not identify how to go between the things there. Let us not fall down. That's the purpose. Let us not fall down. So maybe we have some problem of confusion while going through the room. So we have to go to the restroom. So already you have get some rest in the bed. So sit down for some time. Samasina. You can also you can use yoga type of asana. Get glued to the bed seat and then get up. Samahita. Now understand the surroundings. See some light around you. Rather, you can have a torch, or you can put on the light. You can know where the switch is. So, samahita. Now you are what you call in an equanimous position that you can do your work without any help. So iti arabhya. Thus starting with dvayena tad vivaranaihi prapadya prabhum ishwaram. So remember that the Lord is not only in a single adjective, Prabhum and Ishwar. He has a lordship, that is leadership over us, number one. He is more wealthy than us, wealthiest person. Aishwaryam, therefore Ishwaram. Prabhu, meaning he is a dictator. He is a master. He is a boss. So both roles are there. So some bosses are not good leaders. Some leaders are not able to control. They cannot be called boss, and therefore both adjectives are necessary. Not only to fill up the verses. Don't think that is only meant for filling up the verses. So Prabhum Ishwaram Prapadya. Down, say fall down at the feet of the Lord. Then how? Tad Vivaranai. So with the understanding of what? Dvayayana. The Dvaya mantra. Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadye Srimate Narayanaya Nama. To understand these two sentences, fall down at the feet of the Lord. Then Nikshipya Chiram Atmanam Tat Padabje Kriti Bhave. You must have observed some priests sincerely bowing at the divine feet of the Lord in the temple, especially. So they keep their head on the feet for at least a few seconds, if not for a few minutes. So Chiram for a long time. Chiram for a long time. Atmanam Nikshipya. Submit your soul. Submit your soul. Where? Tat Padabje. In his lotus feet. Kriti Bhave. Then he will be a lucky person. So generally, in the temple, because only the priest has the freedom and liberty to touch the divine figure, so he touches his head with the feet of the Lord. He places his head on the feet of the Lord. So tat padabje, then he will be a lucky fellow. Kriti bhave. Kriti meaning fortunate person, lucky, one who has sincerity and faith towards the Lord. Yaha, who, Narayana Dasi Yaha. How do we feel? It is not what we call mechanical falling at the feet of the Lord. Placing our feet daily placing our head at the feet daily. We must not have any slackening attitude. Today it is not necessary. So here you say Narayana Dasiya. We must feel that we are slaves. So Madhava Aradhana Krama. Our worship, our Tiruvaradhanam, the performance of the puja is only by a slave. He is only under the control of the Lord. So Madhava. So it is not only meant for Emberman, that is Lord only. So Goddess Mahalakshmi is also included. Ma mother, Ma Mahalakshmi, Dhavaha husband, both the husband and wife, the divine pair, the Divya Dampati we say in Sanskrit. So Aradhana Krama, the procedure of the worship is only a subservient action to Narayana. तत्र अभिगमनं नाम प्रथमः पटलः हि अयम्. पटलः फर्स्ट स्टेप. प्रथमः पटलः फर्स्ट स्टेप. नाम नेम by name अभिगमनं तत्र देव. For Venugopalan Swami and all of us, let us not think that it is a repetition, because repetition is necessary for stressing a point, and that is again because we as human beings tend to forget often and frequently what has been said earlier. So what we have heard earlier, what we have studied earlier, we tend to forget very easily. Our memory is very short, and therefore, iti antena abhigamanam parisamapti. So we remember how abhigamanam must be done. So there are so many ideas which can creep in our mind, individual mind differently, saying today should be a good day and all should live happily. It's not a personal wish. It's not a selfish desire. You pray for avoiding the problems. We don't expect any mishap, and therefore, so we want always good things to happen. So remember all this, and then it is generally it's a prayer for the whole loka, whole world, universe. So loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. That selfless idea should come into our mind. And what are you going to do during the daytime until the yoga, the fifth time? So you plan your day, and the plan, please submit your plan, blueprint to the Lord. Today, what should you do? I did today that two books must be edited. Two books must be edited. So they edited in the sense Sanskrit book to be corrected from the what you call doc file, docx file, word file, and also so remember it should be a successful one. Again, what are we planning? So I have to go to the pension office, get what we call a 16A form. So these are all personal things, of course. So, but whereas we must also think for general public, the society around us, prayers. Then we complete the Abhigamanam. Abhigamanam Parisamapya. Complete well Abhigamanam. Then Annaha of the day. Annaha means of the day. So that is starting with the 6th morning after sunrise. Dvitiya Bhagena, the second part, Krishna Aradhana Tatparaha. So we are going to engage ourselves in worship of Tiruvaradhanam of Lord Krishna. We are not going to jump into Ijja, the third timing immediately, but we must think of doing it. We must prepare ourselves for doing it. Therefore, so Aradhana Tatparaha. Tatparaha means busy. Busy in that. Tat is that. Paraha. Tat is Again, the Lord, Tattvamasi, Lord must be always remembered. Whom do we worship? Whom are we going to worship? In what form? So remember the salagramas which you have, the divine metal figure that we have, what you call Divya Mangala Vigraha. If you have a metal figure, என்ன சொல்றோம்னா விக்கிரக ஆராதனம். Vigraha, we say Vigraha ஆராதனம். It's very important. What are the incarnations in the salagrama? What are the what incarnation you have in Vigraha, Narasimha or Ramanujacharya, even Ramanujacharya, Vedanta Deshika, again Rama, Krishna, and so on. So Krishna Aradhana Tattva, because the famous popular incarnation is Krishna. So Krishna Aradhana Tattva. So our mind should be concentrating on the worship. Then Dravyani Aradhana Arthani Shastriyani Samarjaye. So this is what we call Upadhanam. So Upadhanam is collection of materials. So Samarjayet, well earned, well earned. So earning well. So Samarjayet should earn well. Shastriyani, only accepted articles, only acceptable articles, not anything else. So there are some specific details in collection of the materials, and therefore, so Dravyani, objects, things, so Aradhana Arthani, only for us. I mean, only for the worship, only for the worship. Every day, what do we do is, you want to prepare food, and when you prepare food, we say that I like this dish. You may like this dish. You have a preference for some dish. So that thinking must be avoided. This is I prepare a dish for you, for the Lord. So for all his what do you call pleasing. So Dravyani Aradhana Arthan, meant for only worship, collected Shastriyani, acceptable ones. Then Samarjaya. So while even collecting flowers, I told you some conditions, prescriptions in collecting flowers. So collect even basil leaf, where from? That's very important. If possible, from our own garden. If not possible, from a very sacred place, a holy place, or at least a clean place. You cannot pluck the leaves from the gutter. From சாக்கடையிலேருந்து எடுக்கக்கூடாது, துளசி முளைச்சிருக்கும், அதனால் அங்கேருந்து எடுக்கக்கூடாது. We will think that we will wash the leaves and get them here. No. So we have to see a clean place, spick and pan, and then so we have collection of materials. So this is called. So the next page 55 starts with Ityadibihi. So it doesn't say very clearly Upadhanam. So we understand very easily. So Ityadibihi Patalaihi. So Patala steps. Patala. தமிழ்ல படல்னு ஒன்று சொல்றோம். படல், அது வந்து மூங்கில் படல்னு ஒன்று சொல்றோம். அதுவும் சொல்லலாம். Pata meaning cloth. Patala meaning a screen. You can say Patala means screen. Yavanika, we call it in Urdu language from Sanskrit. So Yavanika, Swami Alavandar uses Yavanika, Maya, Jaganmohi. Yavanika, Yavana meaning Muslim, the foreign nationals. So Yavanika is screen. So our screen is illusion, Maya. So here Patala is also a screen type, cloth screen. So here it is step. So Ityadibihi Patalaihi. You would have heard about in Ramayanam of Kambanad Alva, Padalam. Have you heard of Padalam? In Kamban's Ramayana. Guhappadalam, Sita Shirayiranda Padalam. There are so many. So Padalam is chapter. So Padalam is status, stage, and so on. So Ityadibihi Patalaihi. So we just saw only two, Abhigamanam and Upadanam. Then Tattat Kalamsha Sadhaniyam. So according to the timings, fixed timings, it should be achieved. Sadhaniyam. Sadhaniyam is achieved, should be achieved. Or rather in the sense, you must offer. So you must not say, I have achieved these things. So it's not what you call egoistic statement. Sadhaniyam is offer them. So tatkala amsha sadhani. According to the particular instructions of those timings. Amsha, the part, P-A-R-T. And then upadanadi kamapi. Upadanadi kamapi. Now it is mentioned here. So upadanadi kamapi. And also the upadana, the second timing. And then yathakramam prapanchita has been already explained. Yathakramam according to the chronological order, prapanchitam explained. Tatra, therefore, evam this way, Chaturvida Pancharatra Nishthanam. There are 4 types of people in Pancharatra. So we have to remember them also. So again, Yathayatham, as per the truth, in the sense, as per the instruction. Prachina Parigrihita Vaikalika Maryada Bhedai. So we can differentiate them by these types of words. Prachina, ancient one, old one. Parigrihita, accepted one. Later on, it has been accepted. Then Vaikalpika, optional. Then Maryada, a limit. So there are some 4 types of. And Sarvesham api, Chaturveda Pancharatra Nishthanam, Tatrapi, there too, Yatkinchit a little Vyapaka Mantra Pradhanana. So we have got Vyapaka Mantras also there, meaning the spells of the scriptures who are covering the entire process. Vyapaka meaning they are spread over all the divisions of Pancharatra. So Sarvesham api, of all the Bhagavat Ekantina, those who concentrate only on one God, so one deity, and therefore Yathayatam truly, Prachina old, ancient, Parigrihita accepted, Vaikalpika optional, and Maryada according to limit, Vedehi by these divisions, by these differences. Vyapaka mantras are 3, 8, 12, and 6 syllables. Yeah, Vishnu mantras. Melody sadhana. So Panchakalika Dharma, it is very nice on Yashoda Swami's part to point out in the chat. So please remember Venugopalan Swami. So with the help of the chat towards from Keshoda Swami, so that we are reminded correctly what are Vyapaka mantras. Om Namo Vishnave is 6 syllable spell. You have got 3. How do you say 3? And then 8 and 12. So 8 is Ashtakshara, 12 is Dwadasakshara. So Panchakalika Dharma Prapta. So we have come to understand that's the meaning. Praptaha meaning we got it meaning. Panchakalika Dharma, the process of the 5 times.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்கிய பூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதாத்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம் கவிதார்க்கிக சிம்மாய கல்யாண குணசாலினே ஸ்ரீமதே வெங்கடேசாய வேதாந்த குரவே நமகம் வாதித்விபசிரோ பங்க பஞ்சானன பராக்கிரம ஸ்ரீமான் வெங்கடநாதாரியம் சிரம் விஜயதா புவி சீரொன்று திருவேங்கடமுடைய பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே வையாதோதாரணியோ வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்திரம் ஞானவைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம்.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः.
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.